Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the How to Letter Comics YouTube channel. Today's video is just going to be a quick one, talking about something that's really kind of important, but most people probably don't know about it, and that's called overprinting your blacks. We'll get into that in a minute. I'm going to show you how to do that in Illustrator and how to notice it if there's a problem when you're doing your layout in InDesign or when you're creating a PDF or viewing a PDF in Acrobat Pro DC. All right, let's get to it. Okay, what we've got here is the Illustrator lettering template that I've had in previous videos. It's got all the stuff that it comes with here on the left and this rectangle here and some stuff from a different video about how to do yelling and various sound effects style yelling. That's not really what we're here to talk about though. We're here to talk about overprinting blacks. I'm going to use these balloons here as examples. So what is overprinting blacks? Basically, if you have a black object or a black stroke like we have on this tail, we want that black to print on top of the colors that are in the artwork underneath. You want that to just be overprinting in the black line, not the white fill. So if you notice here on the attributes panel, which you can get to from window and attributes, I've got this object selected, just the tail, and it says overprint stroke. If I turn that off, that will not overprint. It'll just be a black line. If I accidentally click this, it gives a warning because it's saying, hey, you've got a white object there, and if you say overprint the white fill, the artwork is going to show through that white fill. Now that's not normally a problem. People don't usually make that mistake, but where they do make it sometimes is in text. Because you can set this red to overprint, and it doesn't give you a warning. It only gives it on white. And so if this were to overprint, you would be printing on top of this black underneath. Or if this was on top of the artwork, you'd be printing the red on top of the artwork instead of having it be a true red. You'd have the various colors of the artwork showing through underneath. So when I set up the template, I already set these objects appropriately. So the tails have overprint stroke. The text is overprint because it's black. That way if you make this balloon a light yellow color or a light blue color, the black shows up fine. The white has not an overprint fill, and the balloon underneath has an overprint stroke and not an overprint fill. So that's how it should be set up to start. And as long as it is set up that way, you don't have any problems. But where you do run into problems is when you have it set up, say here on this one, if you've got the black set to overprint and then you just copy that and put it behind and give that a red stroke, the red will also be set to overprint. So again, if that is set on top of artwork, the colors of the artwork will be showing through that red. So it won't be a true red, it'll be a weird muddy red. Now what I'll do is I'll make some duplicates here. I'll set up some the wrong way and some the right way. So we'll set this, we'll have this set up the right way. And we'll have this set up the wrong way, where I'm going to overprint the fill, and I've still got the red set to overprint. And I'll do the same thing here. That's set to fill or to overprint. This should not be set to overprint. And I'll go ahead and I'll do that tail to overprint, and I'll do these to overprint as well, just to give you a real good example. Now you notice there is a warning here, but that doesn't necessarily tell you where that error is occurring. But if we go to View, Overprint Preview, we'll have an idea that there's a problem. But that doesn't give us the full extent of what that problem is. So I'll turn on this artwork underneath, and we'll turn this back to the other view. So right now, these balloons look the same, and these balloons look the same. You wouldn't think there's a problem there. But when you go to View, Overprint Preview, you can see what happens. The white just completely disappears in here. The red disappears, although it does look like a richer version of the black. And here on this one, the red on the yellow isn't very noticeable, but when it gets into the orange and the black, it changes. And again, you see the tail here, even though it has a white fill, it appears to not have anything. So you'll see this change right before your eyes. I'll just turn off that fill, that overprint fill. And then this one here, we'll do the same thing. I will turn off overprint stroke because it's a red stroke, not a red fill. Boom, it pops back to normal. So we'll do the same here. Change this, boom, change that, boom. Now the red, boom. Now it will print as it's supposed to. But let's say we didn't fix any of those things. Just backing this up a couple steps. So again, this is the page with the errors on this side and the correct versions on this side. Let's take a minute here just to talk about this artwork. This is a page from Startup. It's a book from Sit Comics. You should check out Sit Comics. Go to sitcomics.com or find them on Facebook. They do some really, really good superhero books. Some for all ages, some for different ages. And they have a really cool grading system so you know if the book is appropriate for a certain age or not. Down in the bottom right corner of the covers, there's a clock, and it says rated 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, depending on how mature the title is. So it's a really cool, easy way to see if it's appropriate for you or for your kids or whatever. But check out sitcomics.com. I do all the lettering over there, and it's a really great company. Anyway, I'm going to save this now. I'm going to jump over to InDesign, where I've already got it placed. Now, here in InDesign, you'll notice it doesn't look the same, but that's because I placed it before we did changes. So this is the file. Here we are on page 1. This is the file. It's called Overprint Black. And I'm just going to hit this relink button here. And it didn't relink properly. Let's see why. Let's see if cut all this out. So here in InDesign, I have that Illustrator file placed. Here it is, Overprint Black AI. And it doesn't look like there's any problem right offhand here. But if you go to View, Overprint Preview, you can see the same problem that we saw in Illustrator. Now, Overprint Preview does take longer to render the files, but if you're doing just prepress on a book and not doing the lettering, you really should check each page to make sure it's displaying as it should. If you're doing both lettering and prepress and you do your lettering correctly, it's not usually a problem. But I'll show you now how we check for this in Adobe Acrobat. I'm just going to export. I'll go to my tutorials and Overprint Blacks, and I'm just going to do Overprint Black example. And I'm going to use I'll just use the proof setting I've got here. So that'll be a quick export because it's just one page. So now we see the same thing. We see how there's a problem. And that's because I went to Edit, Preferences, and I have Use Overprint Preview Always selected. Always is not the default. I believe the default is only for PDFX files. So we'll click that for a sec, and you'll see it doesn't show us the error. So if you're viewing your PDF proof in this way, or if your client is, or if they're getting digital proofs from the printer and they haven't, and your client doesn't have that turned on, this is going to look like it's going to print fine, but it won't print fine. You'll actually see it in print looking, looking like this. That makes everyone look bad, especially you as the letterer. So do yourself a favor, don't make this mistake. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I hope it's been helpful. Real quick, I'm going to show you Sit Comics' Facebook page. Here we go. Sit Comics' Facebook page. Go check them out. They do some really awesome books. This is a book called Renegades that I lettered. This isn't out yet, so it's a nice preview of that book. Oh, this is one of my favorites, Headhunter. This is a really good book. So go check them out. Lots of really cool classic superhero comics and stuff for all different ages and different tastes. All right, guys, thanks a lot. Appreciate you following me, and make sure you like and share and give a thumbs up and get the notifications and all that stuff. Also, head over to firstdraftpress.net. That's my website. There's some free comics there in the shop, as well as other things to purchase like that template that you saw me working on earlier. All right, guys, cheers.